Welcome back to the Profits of IT. I am Jim Punzenberger, founder of ManageProspectingSystem.com, where we help IT and cybersecurity firms turn real expertise into real conversations, not spam. Today's chat is with Joe and Ray, partners at eSafe. Hey guys, why don't you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit more about eSafe.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Jim. To be part of this podcast, and it's an exciting time for our company and kind of where we're at, Joe and I, in our career path. So just a quick background. I came from some of the vendors you may have heard of out there, ConnectWise, Continuum. I was there for 20 years, and what started as a 5-person company here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and blew up into several private equity acquisitions later into what it is today. I just recently left there and was offered the opportunity to move into the other side of the space, from the vendor now into the partner level. So I spent the better part of 20 years helping partners from a technical perspective on technical account management and customer success, and moving straight into business development and strategic account management on the business side, and really with their go-to-market strategy. I became kind of the internal consultant that helped MSPs, MSSPs, VARs, OEMs, telcos get into this managed IT space. And this is a chance to kind of put my money where my mouth is, because I've been teaching it for 20 years. Well, now I get to do it firsthand. And so Tim Steinmeier from Pittsburgh brought us into this eSafe world, and now we've been meeting with clients. This has been a company since 1989. So that's kind of the experience that I'm bringing, and I'll let Joe introduce himself. But we're excited to be here and excited to launch this service.
Yeah, thanks, Ray, and thanks, Jim, for having us on. Again, my name is Joe Consolmagno. I'm a partner at eSafe Partners. I joined a company called Continuum back in 2010. Ray actually hired me. I worked there for about 5 years, and then I started working at MSPs over the last 10 years. So I have seen a lot of business use cases and seen a lot of success in the managed services space. Kind of figured my way out for the first year or two, and then grew both of those businesses exponentially. And then I was given the opportunity to meet Tim a couple of years ago, and the stars aligned where he let Ray and I come in and transform his business and relaunch it from eSafe Technology that's been around since 1989 into eSafe Partners that has 37 years of brand focus and loyalty. And we are taking it to the next level with the expertise that we have built over the last 20 years.
Cool. So let's jump right into it, guys. What would you say is the biggest misconception that you guys see right now in the MSP space?
I think one of the bigger misconceptions is, and we lived through it, right? And so Joe and I have talked to MSPs and clients and our peers and friends and family around this cloud. What is it? And the cloud, I think, was supposed to make everything simpler. And there's a lot of things that it brought to the table. How fast is your internet connection? Are you getting the same experience? Why are we still using Outlook if O365 exists? And so we always live in this hybrid world. We don't have dummy terminals. We still have actual laptops. So I think one of the, and even your data, where is it living? What is the cloud? Explaining what it's someone else's server in some other location. Explaining what that means for you as a business. How do you take advantage of it? I think one of the biggest misconceptions and kind of truth bombs out there was really the cloud is going to make everything simpler, yet with all the integrations and moving parts and on-site stuff that's still on premise, that there's still a need to have that stuff. And it maybe made stuff more complex now that we have to worry about a server somewhere else and that connectivity. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and one of the larger misconceptions there is that now that you're in a provider's space, is that your data is safe. And if you read Microsoft's terms and conditions on their 365 agreement with each and every customer, it says that they can lose up to 30% of your data, and that is within your terms and conditions. So, getting messaging like that out to clients business owners, CFOs, et cetera, and understanding the risk that is involved there. Just because you've moved from Exchange to 365, is your data always safe? The answer is no. Microsoft has, recently enforced multi-factor, and they did that for a reason. They did that because they had seen a lot of people getting hit. People will use the same passwords that they have for their Google account, for their Microsoft account, et cetera, and they don't know when their data is being leaked on the dark web. So, one of the key things that we try to get across is, with the cloud, there also needs to be protections and security in place. And a lot of the vendors have launched products that we resell in order to keep those businesses safe, day in and day out.
So, guys, we also like to talk about superpowers here on Profits of IT. Something that you guys do, that you see as, you do better than most in the business world. What do you say is your superpower or superpowers? I guess you could answer this individually. And if you have any quick tips on how somebody else could develop those superpowers.
So I guess one thing I've heard over this time is, I went to school for IT. I started off in computer programming and then quickly moved into the business side of MIS and management. But part of my career path, even in college, there was a split where it became you can move into education, right? And so we took a lot of those same tracks. What I picked up on that and what I've learned just working with all the people I have over the years is explaining IT in simpler terms. I think if I put my tech hat on, we all get geeked out about specs and new technology, and we could sit here and talk numbers and dials and bits and bytes all day. But as I just got off the phone with one of our existing clients, she's like, I need to explain the why. Like, help me understand. So my superpower would be sitting down and just talking in layman's terms of what is all this stuff and what does it mean? And it's moving so fast. I can't keep up. Why do I need all this crap? And people are like, every time you talk to me of something else that you want to talk about, is IT really moving this fast? And cybersecurity and backup and disaster recovery, governance and compliance. And so it's our job, I think, to have these superpowers of how do I explain this to an end user in very simple terms. And that's something I've been successful doing. And I think that's something that all of us should really just embrace and figure out how to have that conversation, because I can tell you end users are kind of lost in the sauce.
Yeah, I've been told, over my career that I have a unique ability of working with the engineering teams that I've managed over the years, and also taking what they've said and turning it into the customer of why they need to do this and transform that message into more of a business impact and business outcome conversation. So the key thing that I like to do is listen to both sides, the engineering reason why, and also the business reason why, in order to make sure that the customer understands and is successful as they navigate the IT landscape.
So, guys, also like to hear about things that didn't go right in your careers and what you learned from those. Learned from that. Maybe, guys, you have a real moment that your head hit the wall and that you learned from it.
One thing that I maybe overestimated and kind of bought into and now putting into practice hasn't been as true is this world that you should walk in there as an IT advisor, a trusted advisor, and standardize and simplify everything to a point where I kind of force everything to look and feel one way. But what does that do for me? That helps my operational cost. I can swap out hardware. I know exactly what I'm supporting. That sounds great on paper. So where I've stubbed my toe is trying to maybe tell people and help people and show people that's the way. When in reality, when you sit in front of these dentists, doctors, lawyers, and car dealerships, they're like, well, I just bought this hardware 6 months ago, and I just bought that a year ago, and it's working fine. Kind of the don't fix what's not broken mentality. And I think maybe that's something I've learned along the way and kind of stubbed my toe on.
Yeah, Ray's exactly right. There's a lot of trainings out there that MSPs can subscribe to, where your clients should all be standardized. And, as you try to enforce that, you take a step back and you realize that perhaps that's, not the best way. Um, I've seen instances where um, a product was recommended or a way to do something was recommended, and kind of analyze it a couple months later that there's frustrations on the client side and perhaps your service side, and you need to go back and perhaps rework the solution that was designed, just a handful of months ago. So, I've been through that process, and the outcome of that is usually that the customer says, thanks for reworking this, and perhaps you're, throwing free labor at a problem to try to help both sides of it. So, the moral of that story is that not every customer is the same, as much as, IT, domain controllers, file servers, etc. It's more about how the customer uses it and what they want to get out of their investment, and kind of sit with each customer, understand what they are, understand what their business outcomes are. It's not just all cookie cutter approaches. I know there's a lot of philosophies in the market about that, but we're trying to take a different approach in the fact that every customer is different. Let's understand what will work best for them.
That makes sense to me, especially in the uh, businesses that aren't large enterprises and don't have the large enterprise budgets to, just we'll just rip out what we put in, like you said, a year ago and buy new. That doesn't make economic sense either.
Yeah.
So, guys, what's got you excited at eSafe?
All the opportunity. I mean, we get to talk to now existing clients that have been working with this company for years, that maybe we bring in a different perspective, a different way of delivering things, and kind of maybe re-energize some of those conversations with end clients. We're also seeing just how many people are in need of having this discussion. I'm talking leads and prospects out there that um, are searching right now for answers to all those things. Every time they talk to their vendor or MSP, maybe the only time they hear from them is when they want to sell them something or they need a phone upgrade. Um, I'm blown away just every time I talk to somebody that that's what they're hearing. So I mean, it's keeping me up at night of just thinking different ways to talk to all these clients, getting to more networking events, because there's a big educational piece here that we have the opportunity to do. And the more you can listen to them, the more you can advise. You got to build that credibility. You got to earn that trust, show them that you're doing what's in their best interest, as Joe mentioned. Those are all important things to us, kind of a customer first approach. So what I'm most excited about is just all the opportunity to go out there and kind of spread the word, what I've learned and seen over my purview. And then, of course, bringing all Joe's experience in. It's been really exciting. I mean, every conversation's been kind of eye opening, and can't wait. They can't wait for a follow up.
Yeah, I mean, look, IT can be scary to people that don't interface with it on a daily basis, and that's really what we're catering to, the small to medium businesses of called 20 users up to 150. They may have an IT person, they may not. What they need is a trusted partner that can guide them through, day-to-day operations, quarterly business reviews, etc. Because you don't want to lose sight of what risks that you may have in your environment. You've got to protect your customers. You've got to protect your users. You've got to make investments and understand what those investments would be in order to keep the business going, but also to protect your intellectual property, whatever it may be, whether you're a municipality protecting data on that side, or whether you're a law firm that has data there that needs to be protected. That's a thing that we'll sit with the clients and work with them and do. And frankly, a lot of MSPs say that they will do that, but I've been through a lot of MSP transitions where we were picking up business, and that was one of the key things. So we never want to lose sight that every one of our customers is the same, whether it's a one-person shop, whether it's 150. We need to be there for them because that's what they're hiring for. They're outsourcing their IT security, their risk, their day-to-day operations, and we need to fulfill that for them.
So, guys, if maybe like Ray mentioned, a dentist, lawyer, car dealership, manufacturing company is struggling with their IT and would want to reach out to you, what would be a good way of getting in touch with you guys?
Yeah, you can reach Joe or I, and you can just go right on our webpage, esafepartners.com. And we also connect with us on LinkedIn, please. We have built an extensive LinkedIn. You can look me up, Raymond Vrabel at eSafe Partners, E-Safe. And we have extensive network of people that are contacting us. And so the more the merrier right now. We love making those connections, even if it's just a chat. If you just want to say, am I getting what I'm currently paying for? Maybe I just want an assessment or an audit. Maybe I just want something explained to me in simpler terms in terms of what I'm getting or what I'm supposed to be getting. Please reach out. We welcome those conversations. And so, yeah, hit us up on our webpage. There's a contact us button there. You can schedule a discovery call with us. My Calendly link's out there, or you can just reach out to me on email or LinkedIn.
Well,
Yeah,
go ahead, Joe.
Okay, sorry, I can edit that. So yeah, it's exactly what Ray said. So we're really interactive on LinkedIn. I have conversations with business owners that perhaps I do services with or I never do services with, but it's always good to learn. And I also talk to many MSPs across the United States to see what they're doing, what's working with them, and perhaps introduce that into our business.
So listeners, check the show notes for contact information. We'll include that in the notes also. And thank you guys for your time and for sharing so generously today.
Well, thank you so much for having us, Jim. Much appreciated. And best of luck to you as well.
And until next time, I'm Jim Punzenberger, your host and creator of ManageProspectingSystem.com, your B2B IT company. We're the only IT marketing agency that lets you write your own guarantee for us. So check out ManageProspectingSystem.com and stay hydrated and caffeinated.